There's been a ton of speculation surrounding one of the central mysteries of Star Trek Discovery's second season. What are the Red Angels that both Michael Burnham and her stepbrother Spock both seem to be seeing? One of the most prominent fan theories argue that the Red Angels are in fact the Iconians, one of the ancient races that thrived millions of years before the Federation even existed.
Ancient texts did speak of demons of air and darkness.
Who are the Iconians? What do we know about them both in canon and from other sources, and how might they factor into Discovery's second season? The Iconians were an ancient civilization that existed over 200,000 years before the Federation. Many Federation scholars believe them to be conquerors, with evidence of their rule having touched several planets in the Romulan neutral zone. We learned this because the discovery of several disparate planet systems seemed to share a similar culture.
I'm certain this device is Iconian, but how far had it traveled before it was abandoned on this alien world?
And on these worlds, the Iconians were known as demons of air and darkness, able to traverse the stars without a starship or any visible means of transportation. This seeming impossibility, along with their eventual disappearance, caused them to fade away into myth. The story of their race became inseparable from folklore. This all changed in the 24th century, when the Federation starship USS Yamato, as well as the USS Enterprise D captained by Jean-Luc Picard, discovered Iconia, the Iconian civilization's homeworld. And it was here that Captain Picard discovered that the Iconian homeworld had been completely destroyed by orbital bombardment. This was done most likely by the very civilizations that they had once controlled, reducing the advanced civilization to dust and mystery. It was also theorized by Picard that Iconians were not the conquerors they were made out to be, but were characterized as such by those who had destroyed them to justify their planetary genocide.
Standing on this soil, breathing in this air, my instincts tell me that we may have got them wrong.
But we do know the Iconians were conquerors.
But that knowledge was passed down by the descendants of those who attacked this world. The victors invariably write the history to their own advantage. There is an unfortunate tendency in many cultures to fear what they do not understand.
Yet Captain Picard also made another shocking and important discovery. The Iconians were able to travel using gateways, portals allowing one to instantaneously travel anywhere they wished across the galaxy. Gateways were even found as far as the Gamma Quadrant, with a gateway being destroyed by Captain Benjamin Sisko several years after the discovery of Iconia. There is even speculation that the Guardian of Forever, a gateway discovered by Captain James T. Kirk in the 23rd century that transports across not only space but time as well, might have been constructed by the Iconian civilization. While that is everything officially known about the Iconians in official Trek canon, the Iconian civilization has been expanded upon in the Star Trek Expanded Universe. Most notably, they have appeared in several novels, as well as being a major faction in the video game Star Trek Online. In these stories, we learn that the Iconians were the first species seeded by the Preservers, the species that created all sentient humanoid life in the galaxy. It was also discovered that the Q Continuum gave the Iconians their gateway technology, to enable them to reach other worlds around the Milky Way. The Iconians also came into contact with the Bajoran wormhole aliens, and respected the beings so much that they did not build any gateways near their celestial temple. The Iconians even had their own version of the Prime Directive, believing that each species had a certain destiny to fulfill. And in the end, the Iconians were destroyed because they lost sight of the journey of life, due to their ability to simply reach any destination instantaneously, as well as their advanced technology leading to suspicion and fear from other civilizations. In official canon, after the destruction of their home planet and the crumbling of their civilization, the Iconians were never heard from again. Yet the question remains, were the Iconians completely destroyed during the orbital bombardment of their homeworld? Or is it quite possible that a civilization with the ability to travel anywhere instantaneously might have found a way to escape their planet's destruction and survive somewhere, waiting for the right moment to reappear? Might there still be descendants of the Iconians still traveling the stars in search of a destination?
Maybe they didn't all die in the bombardment. Some of them could have passed through this.
This is the very question that might be answered in Star Trek Discovery's second season. Fans have noticed that Michael Burnham's vision of a Red Angel contains some intriguing similarities to the Iconians' appearance in Star Trek Online. Additionally, the show has had Easter egg references to the Iconian civilization during its first season, as possible hints to the show's future. With the season's focus on faith, a species known as demons would fit into the theme. We also know from New Eden that the Red Angels can teleport people across the galaxy instantaneously, which sounds exactly like an Iconian gateway. Another interesting note would be the similarities between the Iconian gateways and the USS Discovery's spore drive. We know that the mycelia network extends across the galaxy, even galaxies.
But in a discrete subspace domain known as the mycelial network. It's fungal roots, aka mycelium, spread across the universe.
Is it perhaps possible that the Iconian gateways work on the same technology? On top of that, as Captain Picard speculated, the Iconians may not have been conquerors, but actually were a peace-loving civilization. And we know this is also true of the Red Angels, as we know they try to save people. Perhaps they too have a version of the Prime Directive, but instead of saying that they can't interfere with pre-warp civilizations, perhaps they can't interfere with pre-spore drive civilizations. By accessing the spore network, the Federation may be ripe for contact by the Iconians, and maybe these red bursts are tests of how civilized and evolved we are. This theory is enforced by the idea that each time the Discovery investigates a red burst, there is always a test. Rescuing the crew of the USS Hiawatha, or saving the colony of New Eden, for example. But if these are indeed tests, will the Federation be found lacking? Perhaps, as the Iconians haven't had any unclassified official contact with the Federation, at least to Captain Picard's knowledge, at least 100 years after Discovery. This may also mean that this theory may actually be incorrect, which is helped by the fact that the Iconians' Star Trek Online appearance is not canon, and Discovery has been known to change alien designs. The hope for an Iconian appearance may only remain fan speculation. It remains to be seen if the demons of air and darkness will ever reappear from the blackness that they have disappeared into. What do you think? Is Burnham's Red Angel the Iconians or something else? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video and want more, or even weekly Discovery reviews or discussions of geek, queer, or geeky queer topics, consider giving my channel a subscribe. Until next time, live long and prosper.